This is the budget modeling tool by Cadets O'Brien and Varrichione. We're going to run you through a hypothetical scenario of a soldier who would be using our tool to plan their financial future. So, to get started, we will say that our hypothetical soldier has been in the service for 3 years. He is recently promoted E5. His post is Greenville, South Carolina, which relates to his BAH. He's not deployed. He plans on being in the service for another 13 years. He has one child. He's chosen to have $300,000 of life insurance coverage. And based on this link, his state income tax is 7%. Alright, after the soldier gives us his baseline financial information, we'll go into some more specific parts of their financial situation. A big one of those being loans. So our soldier is going to take out a $10,000 car loan at 3% interest over 5 years and 12 payments a year, so a monthly payment, starting on the 26th of January 2017. So he just took out the loan, and optional payments will be based on what he can afford and if he chooses to try and pay the loan off earlier. So just looking as of now, it does look like he's going to be able to afford a $400 extra payment because he's got $2,100 of personal income that left over per month. But we'll get into that, and that's something that this tool will help the soldier decide. And down here are the details of the loan. So based on that amount, that interest rate, and that amount of time, the soldier will be paying just under $200 a month, and over the life of the loan will be paying $240 in interest, which is very good. I mean, this is a pretty low interest rate to find and not a huge loan. So it's a pretty manageable decision for this soldier. Another big financial consideration for soldiers is retirement. So let's say our E5 is 25 years old and he can afford, or he chooses to contribute 6% of his income to his TSP retirement account. So that will be 6% of his total pay, which is BAH, BAS, and base pay. So his monthly contribution will be $260 roughly. And this tool will help us to emphasize the importance to soldiers of this, because at retirement, assuming he pulls it out at age 65, that's $470,000 after just putting in $260 for the next 13 years. This money taken out at 65 will continue to accumulate, but he only adds to it during his time in the service. Additionally, if the soldier puts in 6%, the government will match that with 4% of his base pay per month. That's the new retirement system, and so we should emphasize again to the soldier that he or she would be crazy not to accept that extra money from the government to match his. Another quick thing to note is that with 3 years of service, assuming he were to get out tomorrow, the soldier would have access to 90% of his GI Bill. Lastly, we have a little credit debt function here to emphasize to the soldiers the importance and also danger of having credit debt. So let's say our soldier starts out with a $2,000 balance on his credit card when he comes into us, and he says he spends about $500 a month and typically pays off maybe $350, let's say $400 a month. In 6 years at that rate with a 16% APR, he's $15,000 in debt. And just upping that monthly payment to $500 gets him down to $300 or $3,000, and lowering that monthly spending to maybe $450 gets him completely out of trouble. So this tool is useful in emphasizing the slight changes you need to make in your life to make sure that you stay out of credit card debt, because these massive interest rates will get you in debt very quickly. And lastly, we have a little tool here just to illustrate a promotion schedule based off just the Army's requirement for time in service and time in grade. So as an E5 right now, he can probably expect to be an E6 within about 3 years, and then that also shows where his income will be at that point, and then an E7 a few years later, and his income going up again. So it's important for the soldier to realize that, because that will allow him to give more to things like his TSP, general investments, pay off loans, pay off credit.